going to show you how to join with a single crochet stitch. This is much easier, and when I follow a pattern and it says join with a slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet in the stitch, I just go ahead and join with the single crochet, and then I don't have to join with the slip stitch and do the chain 1. I just have a single crochet at the beginning. So I think it's cleaner looking, and it saves you a little bit of time, and it saves you a step. So right now I'm going to start out with a long end on my starting chain, which I always do, and I'm going to make a slip knot, which is a circle like this. The top strand right here goes across the back of the circle like this. It looks like a pretzel, and then I pull that back strand forward like this. You can see on the top there's a knot, like a knot side, and then I call this the slip side. You tighten the knot side like this, and then you put it on, you put the loop on your hook like this, and of course you don't need a loop that big, so you pull on the slip side like that, and the loop should kind of just like float on your hook like that. Shouldn't be too tight or anything. So you start out, now you could join with a single crochet into a space, or you could join into a stitch. So I'll show you both ways. You start with a loop on your hook, and then you insert the hook into the space or the stitch, but right now I'm going to show you the space. You insert it into the space. I have my pinchers here. I'm always got them close by, holding, stabilizing the work. And then I'm going to yarn over like this, and then I'm going to turn the head of my hook down, and I'm going to come back out of that space like that, and draw the loop up and give it a little bit of height so it's even with the loop on my hook. And then I'm going to yarn over from the back to the front like that. I'm gonna hold the back of this back finger here is holding the back of my slip knot. And then I'm going to turn the head of my hook down like this and bring it through the 2 loops on my hook. And that is joining with a single crochet. Looks just like a single crochet stitch. So let me do that one more time to show you. I have this slip knot on my hook. I'm stabilizing the work with my pinchers here. I have my finger out. I'm going to insert the hook into the space like this, and I'm going to turn the head of the hook up like this. I'm going to yarn over, turn the head of my hook down, bring that through the space like this, bring it up. I'm giving it some height, and I'm holding, this finger is back here on the back of the slip knot. It's stabilizing that slip knot right there. And then I'm going to yarn over like this, and I'm going to turn the head of my hook down like this. I'm going to stabilize right underneath those 2 loops. I don't need this anymore, I don't think. And then I'm going to turn the head of my hook down like this. I've got a little pressure up here. I'm like pulling in that direction. So I go like this, yarn over, turn the head of my hook down like that, and pull that through the 2 loops that are on my hook like that. So that's joining with a single crochet. Now you might, if your slip knot was a little bit too loose, you might want to just like pull that in a little bit more. But it's real easy to join to that single crochet too when you come back around. So that's joining with a single crochet into a space. So let me show you how to join with a single crochet in a stitch, which is almost the same thing. But I'm gonna join with a single crochet to one of these double crochet stitches. I start with a slip knot on my hook. I go from front to back. I'm going to go underneath 2 strands of this. Directions might say to go in the back loop, whatever. If it doesn't state that specifically, you can assume that you're going to go under both loops like this. So I am stabilizing my work right here. I've got this finger behind the slip knot. You can see it right there. And then I have my thumb on the thumb press, and I am going to yarn over across the front like that. Turn the head of my hook down so it can come out. And then I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to give it some height. And I still have this finger back here, stabilizing the slip knot. I'm going to yarn over like that, turn the head of my hook down. Now I'm going to reach my pinchers over in between these two to stabilize them, because I don't want them getting smaller. So I'm going to stabilize them with my thumb and this finger back here. And then I'm going to turn the head of my hook down like this, and I'm going to draw it through both loops on my hook like that. So there you can see a single crochet stitch. And if I need to, I could pull that a little tighter. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you that one more time. Start with a slip knot. I have my work here. I'm going to insert my hook underneath 2 strands of my stitch like this. And then I'm going to yarn over like this. I've got this finger stabilizing that. I don't want it to turn. Like if I don't stabilize it, this thing might, turn around. So I'm stabilizing that. And then I've got my pinchers here close, very close to the stitch that I'm working in. So I'm going to yarn over, turn my hook down like this, bring it out of the stitch like this, and then I'm doing it in slow motion so you can see this. I still have my pinchers really close here, and then I'm bringing that up. I'm going to give it a little bit of height, and then I'm going to bring this hand over like this a little bit because I need to yarn over there. And I'm still stabilizing the slip knot, but I'm replacing it now with these pinchers here. So what I want the pinchers to do now is stabilize the starting chain and stabilize this loop here that I just pulled through while I'm bringing this loop through. So I'm going to move the pinchers right here. I don't need this behind with these pinchers here. I don't need this finger behind the slip knot anymore. And I'm going to yarn over like this. I'm going to turn the head of the hook down like this. And then I'm going to draw that through the 2 loops on my hook like that. And that's how you join with a single crochet. And then the directions will probably, tell you what other stitches to work in the same stitch or in the next stitches. But it makes it so easy when you come back around and you're joining to that. And it keeps you from having to do a chain 1 and then a single crochet in the same space. And I'll show you what that looks like. So with the versions that you see most of the time in all directions, it's join with a slip stitch to the stitch. So that is, you start with a loop on your hook, you bring a loop through, and then you bring that through the loop on your hook. So you're joining with a slip stitch, so you might as well join with a single crochet while you're at it. So that would be the slip stitch. Then they tell you to chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch. So that is the typical joining. So if you do the joining with the single crochet instead of the slip stitch and the chain 1 and then the single, you cut out this step and then you don't have this little mess going on right here. So it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to do that instead of this. So the other version, I'll keep this on my hook right here, and I'm gonna make another slip knot. Well, let me cut this one, and then we'll do a comparison. So I'm gonna do another slip knot. I'm gonna put the loop on my hook like this, and then I'm gonna, instead of doing the joining like this, which most directions tell you to do it like this, I'm gonna do the joining with a single crochet right next to it. So I'm going to go in here, yarn over, draw a loop out, yarn over, and draw through the 2 loops on my hook. So that is the joining with the single crochet. I'm just gonna, well, I don't want to slip stitch, it might get confusing looking. So I'll cut this, and now you can see what the difference is. So right here is the typical joining that are in most crochet directions. It says join with a slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, and same stitches joining. So that's the regular joining. But when you learn the joining with the single crochet, it will look like this. It's a lot easier, it's less stitches, and you won't have this, you will have this. So when you compare the two, it's much better to learn how to do this one. And then you just replace that in your patterns. You don't have to see it written in a pattern. Whenever they say join with a slip stitch, chain 1, single, well, right away you know, well, I can just join with a single, and I can do away with that right there. So to me, it's a much better, cleaner way of joining a new yarn to a project. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you subscribe to my channel, sign up for notifications, like the video. It really helps the channel out, it helps me out. And be sure to leave comments. I've been answering all the comments. So I really love hearing from all of you, and I hope that you thoroughly enjoy your crochet, and I hope that these videos help you.